Well, I'm on the phone with Ellsworth football coach Duane Crawford, as we are every Monday and Thursday during football season. And, Coach, congratulations. Just a tremendous victory over Dexter on senior night on Friday, October 23rd.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. It was a fun game, and I think I've told you this pretty much the entire season, and it's just been a joy to go out there on Friday night and coach these kids and watch everything develop the way that it does. And last Friday night was no different. And we went into the game and we went into the season. Actually, I talked to the coaches afterwards, and Tug and I were talking preseason. He goes, Duane, we could go 6-2 this year. And I said, you really think so, Tug? He said, yeah, I think we can. 5-3 at the worst, but I think we can go 6-2. And you never know really what you have until everybody shows up, and especially with a newer program. And we committed to conditioning them and getting them ready. And sure enough, that's where we were, a 5-3 at the end of the season. But having these guys, is much work as they put in, and as much as they've learned over their career at the we went in at halftime. We were actually down 8-6, and we made a couple of changes and came out and stopped them on defense. And first play on offense, Devin goes 83 yards for a touchdown, and it was one of the changes we made. It was, we had one of Tug's favorite plays, 5-dive, right up the middle, and we thought we could do something with that, and we did, and we ran that a lot Friday night, so it worked out well.
Well, and Devin ended up with how many carries, how many yards?
41 carries, 351 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
Holy smoly.
Yeah, and it's as much credit as we give Devin, and he deserves all of it because he's an amazing running back. I was just thinking this morning coming in how many, all the years I've been coaching and all the different running backs we've had, if I could think of anybody that was at the same level as him, and we've had some really good ones, Terrence Jones, Dane Gator, who are exceptional backs. But this, Devin, with only 2 years of being in the backfield, he's got the size, he's got the speed, and just having 2 years experience, it's amazing what he's done.
Yeah, no doubt. And but he can't do that without that offensive line breaking out those holes for him.
Exactly, and that was the other thing that I was going to say, and I was thinking of this morning. For as good as he is, none of that works, and we've seen it. We saw Lincoln. We just couldn't get our act together on either side of the ball that night, and we ended up with 40 yards of offense, and that shows you how important that offensive line, those front 5 guys are, in our case, front 7. Without them, it doesn't matter who's in the backfield. It just doesn't work. And they really did a tremendous job all season long. And Friday night was just the culmination of the entire season. They just went out there and made it happen. And it wasn't like Dexter didn't know what was coming. We had Jacob Shurey, our tailback, Friday night, got injured early in the second quarter, and so it really kind of handcuffed us with what we could do with anybody else. So it was, really on Devin, and we just tried to find ways to disguise the same play, different formations and different looks, but basically, it was get the ball to Devin, and they just couldn't stop him, and that was up to the offensive line to give him a little bit of running room, and then once he gets by that first level, it's, you're in trouble. So, but it really, it's the win and the wins all year long have been more than just one person, because defensively, it was a 30-day game with 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the game. So,
yeah.
Defensively, we just shut them down, and we gave up a touchdown at before the half in the second quarter, and it was, it was a reverse, and we just didn't stay at home, and they scored on it, and our game plan all week was to shut those edges down because they had 2 really fast wing backs. We really wondered how we were going to stop, and we did an amazing job with that. The kids did a great job. They responded to the game plan well, and after they gave up that first big play, and then after that they pretty much controlled the defensive side of the ball, and we had 2 interceptions, a couple fumble recoveries, and so it was just a good all-around win. entire team win.
When you think about it, I mean, to be at 5-3, and you're gonna when we look back in July and August, I mean, that's really have got to exceeded your expectations.
Yeah, I mean,
don't tell me you expected to go 5-3, because I know in your heart you might have wanted to, but you know, there's no way you really expected to be going 5-3.
I think that we thought that if everyone responded and played, they were able to execute the game plan, we could do it. But yeah, it was. I mean, you're always holding your breath, because when you lose 24 games in a row, you're just waiting for. And at Washington Academy, it was a good example of that. I mean, we did everything we could to lose the game, and we still ended up winning it. And I was waiting, you know, for something to happen during that game. We had 8 or 9 fumbles, and so it was, that first win is so hard to get, and so you know you progress from that, but you're wondering if you're going to be able to do it week in and week out, and if the football gods are going to smile at you, or if they're going to deflate the balls on you. So, but it was. I think that we were optimistic about the season, given what we had, and that being said, we were one injury away from not having. You know, we had basically one player at each position, so that was crucial. And Connor Petros ended up only playing 2 plays Friday night because of a fluid on his knee. But I mean, other than Connor being out, everybody made it through the entire season, with the exception of a few bumps and bruises and maybe a couple plays off. So we were, you know, we were one person deep, and that's always difficult.
Right.
Because if you have a couple of injuries, then you're really in trouble. So, but it was, you know, it all came together as planned. I mean, it just, you couldn't have asked for anything better.
So you've got an exhibition game this Friday night against Medomak Valley.
We do, yes.
And as you mentioned, you're going to have everybody play the first half, and then the second quarter will be the JV, and then the next year's class. So tell us exactly how that's going to work.
Yeah, we're going to play varsity, the starters, the first half, and we'll have everybody there except for Wally Moon, who's on a college trip. So he's gone off to visit 4 or 5 different schools that had some interest in him.
Yep.
So we'll have everyone except him, and our starting offense and defense will play the first half. Then in the third quarter, we'll look at, you know, what we project for starters next year, and that doesn't necessarily mean they will, but just where we're sitting right now, and put them in the third quarter just to, you know, put that together and see how it looks, and then we'll go with the twos in the fourth quarter. So, which will actually probably look pretty similar to the third quarter with a few exceptions, but. So it should be a lot of fun. It's, you know, one more. This is our playoff game, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, it's to get the kids used to that one extra game and what the postseason would be like if we were in it, and we would be, because we'd be the 5th place team at this point. So
next year, I mean, you've got a very strong 8th grade AFL class that's going to be coming to the high school next year.
Yeah,
EFL class.
EFL class, yeah. We have, numbers-wise, it's not huge. It's probably just going to even us out with the seniors that we're losing. But a lot of good skill players, and that'll definitely help us.
Who've played together for an extended period of time.
Yeah, since 3rd grade. So that really helps. And, you know, being through this whole cycle with the Acadian Football League and MDI,
yeah,
it took that class that was together from 3rd grade all the way up through to get to their junior year, and then the rest is history. I mean, they've been in the playoffs every year since then. So,
right.
So that's what we're looking at, and you know, those kids are going to come in, and some of them will start to help out immediately. So, I mean, there's some pretty good size there with a couple of them and some good talent. So we should be, we'll have a little bit more depth to skill positions. And looking at our offensive, defensive line, I mean, we're going to lose a couple of players off that line, but we have a lot of players, freshmen and sophomores. They're going to be able to step right in and really contribute next year, and they're going to be pretty good. So, and they're kids that have played all the way up through too, so from third grade. So that's, I think we're headed in the right direction. We should just keep getting better, and I'm hoping that the success that we've shown this season will carry over next year in terms of bringing us more players that may not have played because of the win-loss method.
The other thing too, and we'll talk about this more next Monday, is that really the 2016 season starts November 2nd or 3rd. When this season's over, I mean, you've got to get everybody in the weight room. You've got to get everyone buying into the program that you got to get bigger, you got to get stronger, you got to get faster.
Yeah, and it's Javon Williams came off the field Friday night. He goes, Coach, I really think I want to be in the backfield next year as a running back. And he goes, what do I got to do? And that's what it is get in the weight room, because you need to have that strength and to be able to make it through a full season, and being 135 pounds or whatever most of these freshmen are, and he's done a tremendous job for us. I mean, he stepped in at quarterback when that's not where he was projected to play, and just kind of took over and has done a wonderful job all year long, and so next year hopefully he'll be able to play where he wants to, but that's the secret to football is being in shape and being in the weight room. And so we do have basketball that starts in November, but we do start the weight room in January once that starts to wind down. So that'll definitely, those kids need to get in the weight room and work towards next season.
All right, Coach, we'll talk to you on Thursday. Have a great week.
Okay, thanks, Chris.